Neil and Siobhan. Our base, a charming resort in the Flamingos area just 15 miles north of Puerto Vallarta. In this video, we are going to show you the magic that happens when we hit the streets of downtown Puerto Vallarta. Our trusty guide from Tommy Tours PV steers us through a mesmerizing journey from the iconic Millennium statue to the hills of
Chacas Chinas.
And to cap it off, we have lunch at the Margarita Grill in the Romantic District. And along the way, we unravel the rich history behind each site, sculpture, and monument. So get ready for an adventure that's going to leave you craving more. Let's dive in. Today's journey starts out in the lobby of our resort. We were going to meet our tour guide there in the morning, and he introduced himself. He was very polite. So that was the Tommy Tour PV person we showed you a little bit earlier. And I'll give you another chance to see how you can get a hold of him if you're interested in having him do a tour for you. But we really enjoyed it. I thought he was very knowledgeable and polite. His car was clean. We visited 10 different places in a short period of time, and I wasn't able to walk too well, so everything that we had to go to needed to be accessible without a lot of effort, so he took us to places where I could get in and out easily. So we weren't doing any jungle hiking or anything, but I believe that you could probably do that too. He was talking about taking us to tequila tasting in the jungle where you'd hike around, and it sounded like a lot of fun, but we'd already decided on going downtown Puerto Vallarta, so we did that. So we start out from Flamingos. We're in the Flamingos area, and we drive along Highway 200, which is like a main highway there, or possibly they consider it a freeway. It's 2 or 3 lanes wide. It's like a regular highway, so it's pretty quick, that portion of it. And then you get into the downtown area and you're on regular streets more often, and there's a bit of traffic in the Puerto Vallarta area, but wasn't too bad. And then as you get into town, you'll find that you're going to have a cobblestone, so there's all cobblestone roads to drive on, so it's quite a bumpy ride through town. But for us, we were driving around, it was more of a tour, so we were looking at the sites and stuff, and I highly recommend doing that. Possibly on your first day, you could go and highlight all the spots, and see the different historical monuments that have been erecting, and hear some of the history, certainly with a tour guide, you're going to get that. And then possibly go back the next day. You could take a taxi cab to Puerto Vallarta, and then just walk around on your own. I imagine you could probably spend a whole day or maybe 2 days exploring the city. There's quite a bit to see there. Very interesting, lots of shops, places to eat, all over. And so as far as we're concerned here, as we're going along, we're going to pass the airport, and then we're going to go to the statue, which is the Millennia statue. It was right on the beach, and Tomas gave us kind of a lecture on the history of it and everything, and I believe he said that one of his college teachers had made the statue. He was quite proud of the history of it and everything. It was pretty interesting. It was a nice first stop, and then of course we move on from there. But for this one, we're going to go to Puerto Vallarta and stop at the statue. So this is the first scene in our video, and we'll continue through to everything else, so you'll see all the stops we made. So anyways, I hope you enjoy it.
And with Senor Ron's foot, we want to be careful not to do too crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, no mountain climbing or anything. Cliffs.
Just a little scenic.
So when you said the tequila tour, was that like going up the mountain?
Well, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, we drive into the jungle and we visit a tequila factory.
So, Tomas, are you from Puerto Vallarta?
I'm from Cihuatlan. I'm from the south part of Jalisco state, which is about 3.5 hours south from Puerto Vallarta.
Okay, got it.
And this is where I stayed because this is where I found opportunity for better jobs.
See.
In my case, I got my degree in tourism.
Oh, nice.
It took me almost 4 years to finish the career.
Oh, wow.
And then 4 years later, I took another degree to get certified as a tour guide. So this is what I'm doing. Yes. In a few more minutes, we'll be driving across the Amica River. The Amica River is one of the 10 rivers that are born up in the Sierra Madre Mountain and hence get a better bandera. So this beautiful river that ties the two states, Jalisco and Nayarit. Alright?
And this river has crocodilos?
Muchos.
Muchos.
Cocodrilos. Yes.
And you get dive boats from here too. Especially if you're going to go out to Los Columbus.
And then as we come into the city more, you see that the mountains are getting closer and closer. They come right down to the water. Oh.
So this is where we're coming into the south zone of the bay, right here. So the main avenue, Francisco Medina Asensio, it turns into Avenue Mexico right here. This is my favorite restaurant for breakfast right here, Caesar's. Very good. Our Lady del Refugio, which has been in function since July 4 of the year 1960. So back in the 1960s, this was the limit of the city right here. So from now on, you will start seeing a different architectural style in some of these buildings and houses. At the very base, there wave water, see where the postulate the light begins, and a little higher up there's a DNA change in the form of there, there is an explosion of life and evolution itself, both natural and human. In the second part you can see a warrior, Charles the Great, king of the Franks from the 8th and 9th century, and founder of Europe, which served as the model for the first millennium. Surrounded by flames which emphasize the violence and instability of those first 1,000 years. The second millennium represented by Nezahualcóyotl, the wise poet king who participated in all cultural aspects of his time and symbolizes the cultural richness of that millennium.
For the next leg of our journey, we traveled from the statue to Casa Kimberly, which is downtown Puerto Vallarta. So this is Casa Kimberly was our first stop in downtown. It's at the top of the it's in the foothills above the Civic Center. So we started up there, and we got out at the Casa Kimberly. Now, Casa Kimberly hotel was Elizabeth Taylor's home on one side and Richard Burton's house on the other side. So there's a bridge that crosses between those houses, which Richard Burton had built after they'd gotten married.
Close your eyes and hope for the best.
Here we
There's
are.
the bridge. Oh, there's the,
Elizabeth Taylor's house and Richard Burton on the left.
Oh, yeah.
There's a sculpture of them right there.
Oh, yes.
And the interesting thing I felt about it, besides the bridge, was just the architecture of the area. You're on these cobblestones, which are really cool, and the outside of the buildings are brick with stucco over the top, very authentic looking. I mean, it's just super interesting to look at everything, the details. Some of the doors, had these really cool giant wooden entry doors that were just detailed. And then from there we drove down to in front of the church. It's a big Catholic church there, and it's the Lady of Guadalupe, the Church of the Lady of Guadalupe. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And So that's pretty famous. We went in there. I didn't do any videoing inside the church because there's people praying there.
Okay, over here we have another beautiful mural. And it's about one of the nicest traditions that we have here in Mexico. We call it the Day of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Dia de los Muertos, which we celebrate. Actually, we start celebrating since it's October 31st, Halloween. But the main date of the celebration will be November 2nd.
From there, we walked down to the civic center, and at the civic center, Tomas gave us a lecture on the church, how it was built, and the different things about the crown on the top, and it was pretty interesting. I thought it was a very interesting historical explanation of how the meaning of the church and everything, and it was kind of surprising that it serves a lot of people there. He said there was quite a few people that are from Canada that go to that church because they're Catholic, and so I imagine maybe French Catholic might go to the Catholic Church. So that was kind of an interesting detail.
So right in front of us we have Our Lady de Guadalupe Parish Catholic Church. As you can see, there's 8 angels holding the crown.
And then from there, we went inside of the Civic Center, and we saw a indigenous display of garments that the tribal men would have worn prior to the arrival of the Spanish people from Europe. And this would have been the garments that they would have greeted the Spaniards with on the boat. So when the guys, Cortez, came over, here he would have ran into these tribal men. They're pretty intimidating costumes. We got another lecture on the mural that was inside of the City Hall. And so the mural is the history of Puerto Vallarta, and it was painted by a famous painter there. Tomas explains that all to us. It was an interesting history lesson, I guess, for Puerto Vallarta.
But they still continue to have the unique style, which is colonial or highland style, Serrano in Spanish. This is beautiful. So the person who painted this beautiful mural was Peter Manuel Lepe. He painted it here in the year 1981. And over there, you see the name of the founder of Puerto Vallarta, Mr. Jose Guadalupe Sanchez Torres, that he wanted to found this town in the year 1850. Beautiful.
And then we cross the street and we go into the beach area. So the playa, Puerto Vallarta, was an area where they have a lot of gatherings.
One of the murals is basically Puerto Vallarta, right here. The church, Weapon Square, Open Theater, and also the romantic song, which is for yourself on the money. The best, they love self. Okay? So now let's go over there and we're going to take pictures of the.
Normally there would have been a lot of people there, but we were there early in the morning, and Tomas had said that most of the visitors would come in the evening, or that's when you'll find the painters are there and different shows and acts and stuff that are taking place. So there's a lot of activity in the evening.
Does it shoot?
The views were spectacular of the ocean and the scenery and everything. And we saw some mimes while we were there. Banditos dressed up in mime costume. It was neat. And that was the trip down into the main part of the town. Then we walked back up to the car and we headed on to our next journey.
this area, we have lots of urban art. Right over here, this is a paint shop right here.
For the next stop in our journey, we head over to Merino and Merino jewelry. And we're going to buy some sterling silver. My wife's interested in getting a bracelet. Tomas is going to take us across the bridge. So there's an island where there's shops and stuff at the bridge. So we cross this bridge and then we head to Merino's jewelry.
And we're driving on Avenue L. Vallarta. And we're about to go across the Guadalupe River, or better known as the Island of Children's. So this is also one of the 10 rivers that are born in these mountains. And ends here in Banderas. So it divides the area of Old Town in two directions. And the south of Avenue L. Vallarta, 3 blocks to the east, heading north from Avenue Insurgentes. Along this island, well, you find all kinds of shops, galleries, jewelry stores.
Iguanas.
Lots of iguanas and a few crocodiles on the river.
Crocodiles.
Yes.
This sopo is pretty water containing minerals and formed for hundreds and hundreds of years. The process in this stone is natural, and inside you see the fire.
Oh, yeah.
And then for Merino's jewelry, we drive to the foothills for a scenic tour. That is called the Mexican Beverly Hills. And it's an affluent neighborhood that's south of Puerto Vallarta. It took us about 15 minutes to drive out there, and they have beautiful views of the Bay of Banderas from up high on the hilltop. On the way, we passed the Los Muertos beach, and so there's a pier out there, and there's a monument. Now we didn't get out and stop at that because it would have been a lot of walking.
On the right hand side, we have Playa Los Muertos, Beach of the Dead. Beautiful view overlooking to the Bay of Banderas. Up the hill, we have a residential area known as Conchas Chinas or Beverly Hills Vallarta.
And then on the way, we saw some mosaic display and a few other things that he pointed out was of interest. New condominiums are being built everywhere. That was pretty interesting. And I was kind of amazed by the price and being so expensive there, for a condominium. He said it was like $1 million in the Beverly Hills area. So that was our next stop. This is the next leg, and we'll show you some of that. So I hope you find it interesting. And oh, by the way, if you do find this video interesting, please consider hitting the like buttons, because liking it really helps promote the video for us, helps promote our channel. Makes it interesting for us to do the work, if we're only getting a few likes and people are interested in it, then it's like, is it really something that we want to continue to do? But if you do like it, please let us know by hitting those buttons. And then also, maybe if you didn't like the video, you can always subscribe, because subscribing, you might like the next video, and then you'll get a notice that way, and it'll let you know when the next video is. So if you do like the video and you want to see more like this, please consider subscribing, and then we'll be able to notify you when the next video is out. But for now, we're just going to stick to Puerto Vallarta. So let's get moving.
Hola. Oh.
Yes. I'll drive the car down.
From Beverly Hills, we drive back along the highway. It wraps around through the foothills. It's about a 15-minute drive back. So we take the drive and then we drive back into town and we do some more shopping. So we go to our first stop is going to be Esther's Leather Shop, and we go in there and check out everything. And they have a nice little tequila tasting room in the back, which I thought was pretty good. And Esther gave us a tasting, and she said that this was her uncle's tequila, like handmade tequila. It was really good. And then from Esther's, we went across the street and we bought t-shirts. This is my t-shirt here that I got from the t-shirt shop across the street from Esther's. And we were able to get 2 t-shirts for the price of one, and I would say it's about half the price of what you might spend in the United States. So the t-shirt deal was pretty good. And then from the t-shirt shop, we drove back across the bridge again and then back into the romantic district of Puerto Vallarta. So this was south of downtown.
Here in the corner of this.
Oh, this is nice.
Yes.
And we went to the Margarita Grill. And so at the Margarita Grill, I had Baja fish tacos I thought were really good, and a margarita. And one big giant margarita was delicious. I really capped off the day. We talked about the bracelet that Kathy got.
Beautiful silver bracelet commemorating our vacation with you. She wanted Puerto Vallarta, baby. Gorgeous.
Just had an enjoyable time. The waiter was excellent. You know, tried to do everything he could to make us feel at home, comfortable. We wanted to buy some of these goblets that were made out of aluminum, and they didn't have any left. And so he was trying to get the owner to release one of them so that we could buy it. But they weren't able to do that. But all the same, the food was great. The prices were good. Margaritas were wonderful, and if we had more time, we'd probably have stayed there the rest of the afternoon and went and sat at the bar because it looked like that was getting to be pretty fun. There was a lot of people gathering there, and that ended our journey for the day because we had to get back. We were going to the Rhythm of the Nights event, you know, so, and that's a 5-hour tour. So for the Rhythm of the Nights, you have to go out on a catamaran boat, you know, it's like a scuba diving boat with a couple hundred people, you know, and you drive across the bay. So that's could be almost an hour boat trip one way. So you go out to this beach and have dinner, and it's just beautiful. I mean, it was such an experience. So if you're interested in what kind of events that you could go to, other things that you could do in the Bay of Banderas, or even if you're in Puerto Vallarta, I mean, you could certainly capture this trip. It would be for anybody in that area. Watch for the other videos that we're going to do, and we're going to share some of those experiences. This is the end of the tour. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please hit those like buttons and leave a comment too if you got any questions or anything. We'll try to answer your comments. Anyway, so that was the trip into downtown Puerto Vallarta, and me and Kathy and Neil and Siobhan. We had a great time. It was a memorable experience, something that I'll never forget. See you on the next video.